Hey team, welcome to Monday Morning Pearls, brought to you by Span the Chasm. My name is Randy Remersma. Today's topic, always be qualifying versus always be closing. And why always be qualifying is a much better thing for you to be doing. Anybody that watched Glengarry Glen Ross in its heyday with Alec Baldwin, the ABCs, always be closing. And while there's some wisdom in that, that can become pretty fatiguing for a client and really not deliver the results that you're looking for. I was talking with a good friend of mine recently, Mike Riolo, and we were talking about the how that is just not delivering the results that we want, that ABC mindset. But there is a mindset that's going to drive much better results, and that's ABQ. Always be qualifying. Always know where you are in a deal. And this is something that's going to drive a lot more customer conversation and a lot more engagement with your prospects, and make them feel less fatigued with the activity that you're taking them through. Why this concept of always be qualifying? And this is something that we're going to do on a day-to-day, meeting-to-meeting. Every time we engage with a client is re-qualify things, because things change. Their strategic initiatives might change. The organization might change. The priorities that they're dealing with might change on a day-to-day basis. Another reason why we always need to be qualifying is to make sure that they're still with you. Are they still engaged in this conversation, or are you selling by yourself? There's nothing worse than being way down a sales campaign and realize that you're alone and that your prospect does not come with you. ABQ allows you to always have them re-engage with you to make sure that the conversation is still relevant. Another reason why we want to go down the always be qualifying model is constantly creating a more open, value-based conversation versus the operational grind that tends to come out of an always be closing mindset. An always be closing mindset is always, it feels like it's dragging a customer through broken glass a lot of the times. Whereas always be qualifying, we're always making sure that we're moving forward, we're having an open conversation that's value aligned back to the things that they care about. I think another one, probably the most important reason why I believe always be qualifying is a smart way for us to go in the sales world, is it creates a lot less fatigue. It creates much more openness on their part. They can lean into you if you're always asking great questions about their business and making sure that you're having a relevant conversation versus being defended if you're always coming at them with a rat-a-tat-tat of an always be closing mindset. So what are some things that we can do to always be qualifying? Number one, reflect back to previous conversations and just ask what's changed. Hey, last time we talked, you said these three things were important. Are they still? And if not, what has changed? Number two, let's build out ahead of time a set of open-ended, curiosity-based questions that we can ask that will help us frame what's going on about impact, about priority, about organizational structure, whatever that needs to be. That takes some preparation. And number three, by always be qualifying, we are much more running to the truth, as we like to talk about here at Span the Chasm. We are inviting a real conversation versus always be closing is manipulating somebody through a process. So by always be qualifying, we're actually going to have better information that we can make better decisions around, even if it's not the information that we want. If we're in a bad spot, we need to know that. Always be qualifying will allow us to find that out a lot quicker. Always be closing will never lead us to that moment of truth. Love to have a conversation with you about this concept of qualifying versus closing. There is a time to close, and that's at the end of the process, but that's after a long campaign of doing a great job of qualifying. Let's have a conversation. Feel free to reach out to us. Love to talk to you at any time about this. Thank you and have a great day.